Chapter 4. The Dig. The glow came first. At the end of the ruined avenue, through a haze of dust and half-collapsed towers, a steady white glare burned against the night. Not lightning, too constant. Not fire, too clean. Floodlights. Artificial, humming, mechanical. The squad crept toward it in silence, boots crunching against the rubble. Each step carried the weight of inevitability, as though the ruins themselves were urging them forward. Ace's visor magnified the glare as they drew closer. Shapes emerged in the gloom, scaffolding, cranes, great drilling rigs chewing at the earth. The air vibrated faintly with the rhythm of machinery. The aliens weren't just digging holes. They were strip mining the planet's very bones. Stone raised a fist, halting them at the lip of a broken wall. They crouched in the shadows, looking down. The excavation stretched across a crater the size of a stadium. Jagged towers of black stone ringed the site, leaning inward like the teeth of a vast maw. Within, the ground had been stripped bare, layer by layer, revealing a pit studded with half-buried structures. Floodlights ringed the crater, harsh white beams cutting through the haze. The glare reflected off alien armor. Patrols of troopers pacing the perimeter, their rifles glinting. Ace counted at least 20 in sight, probably more hidden in the scaffolds and watchtowers. His stomach clenched. "Bloody hell," Mack muttered. "That's not a dig site. That's an operation. They've got more kit here than I've ever seen outside a fleet yard, and we're 3 blokes with rifles." "Eyes open," Stone ordered. His voice was flat, but tight. He was already calculating, weighing odds. Ace's gaze wandered lower, drawn by motion. Figures toiled at the bottom of the pit, dragging rubble, loading carts, hauling cables. At first he thought they were aliens too, but then his visor adjusted. Not aliens. Humans. Thin, ragged, bent under the weight of their tasks. Their gear was shredded, little more than scraps of uniforms. A guard shoved one hard, sending him sprawling into the dirt. The others kept working, heads down, too afraid to even glance up. Ace's throat closed. He whispered before he could stop himself. "Prisoners." Mack leaned forward, visor narrowing. "Well, bugger me. Thought we were the first boots down here. Guess not. Looks like half a company. Poor sods." Stone's jaw tightened. Slaves, forced labor. Ace couldn't look away. The prisoners' faces were gaunt, hollow-eyed. Each swing of a pick, each stumble under a load looked like it might be their last. He felt a rush of helpless fury. "We have to help them," he blurted. Stone didn't move. "Our mission is reconnaissance. They'll die if we don't. They'll die if we charge in blind." Stone snapped. His eyes never left the pit. "Focus. We confirm what they're digging for. Then we act." Ace bit back a reply. His hands trembled on his rifle. He hated the logic, hated that Stone was right. Charging in now would just get all of them killed, but leaving the prisoners there, it burned. Mack, sensing the tension, piped up. "Tell you what, lads. How about we don't die in the first 10 minutes, eh? We get eyes on whatever prize the aliens are after. We live to tell command, and then, maybe, we come back with enough guns to actually do some saving." Ace glared at him. "You don't even care, do you?" "Course I care. I care so much I'd like to still have legs to walk home on afterwards." Mack clapped him on the shoulder. "Cheer up. Stone's right. Suicidal heroics don't free anyone. But information? That's worth a bloody army." Ace looked away, jaw tight. The laughter in Mack's voice rang hollow to him. Stone adjusted his rifle, scanning the pit. "We move closer. Stay low. No one fires unless I say." They slipped along the rim of the crater, shadows moving between jagged ruins. The glare of the floodlights never reached here, but the patrols did. Twice they froze as an armored trooper passed within meters, visor sweeping. Ace held his breath each time, certain the glow would pin him, certain the alien would hear the thunder of his heart. But the patrols moved on, oblivious. They reached a shattered arch overlooking the deepest part of the pit. From here, Ace could see the scale of it. The aliens weren't just digging, they were uncovering. The stone walls of the pit gave way to carved surfaces, doorways, and tunnels plunging into the earth. Ancient structures, buried for God knew how long. And at the center, half buried still, loomed something vast. A structure of black stone, curved and angular all at once, its surface etched with spirals that seemed to writhe in the floodlights. Machinery clamped against it, tearing away layers of earth. Sparks leapt where drills bit too deep. Ace shivered. The sight of it made his skin crawl. "What is that?" he whispered. Mack leaned against the wall, visor narrowing as he zoomed in. "Well, it's not a coal seam. Looks like a bloody cathedral buried upside down, or a coffin the size of a battleship. Take your pick." Stone said nothing. His eyes tracked every detail, every guard movement, every crane. Calculating. Always calculating. Ace tore his gaze from the structure to the prisoners again. A guard shoved another worker so hard he tumbled down a ramp, landing awkwardly. No one moved to help. The guard barked something in a guttural alien tongue, weapon raised threateningly until the man scrambled upright again. Ace's knuckles whitened on his rifle. His voice shook. "Sir, we can't just—" "Quiet," Stone cut him off. His tone wasn't cruel, but absolute. "We don't have the numbers. We don't have the firepower. One shot and every trooper here will be on us. Look." He pointed with 2 fingers. Patrols on the rim, squads on scaffolds, sentries in towers. Ace followed his gaze, heart sinking. He was right. There was no way they'd last more than seconds in a frontal fight. But knowing it didn't make it easier to watch. Mack cleared his throat. So, aliens digging up spooky ruins, enslaving whoever's handy, building themselves a lovely light show. Question is, what are they after? Big rock? Shiny trinket? Doorway to hell? Stone finally spoke, eyes narrowing at the central structure. Something important. Important enough to guard. Important enough to kill, for he checked his HUD, adjusting his scope. We need proof. Then we decide. Ace followed his gaze again, back to the buried structure. His stomach twisted. Whatever it was, he had the sickening feeling they weren't meant to see it. They moved lower, slipping from ruin to ruin, each step bringing the pit closer. The floodlights grew harsher, bleaching the dust into pale fog. Ace felt exposed, even in shadow, like the lights could peel the stone away and lay him bare. Stone led them down a crumbling stair that hugged the crater's edge. It ended at a half-collapsed gallery overlooking the dig, one wall etched with ancient glyphs worn nearly smooth. Mack brushed a gauntlet across them. Lovely bit of architecture. Shame it's all being chewed up by glorified power tools. He leaned close, visor glow faint on the carvings. See that spiral? Means something. Or maybe it's just an alien artist trying to impress his date. Either way, someone went to a lot of effort. Ace didn't reply. He couldn't stop staring at the central structure. The more he looked, the more wrong it felt, as though his eyes weren't designed to process its geometry. Every line bent subtly the wrong way, every angle just shy of what it should be. He blinked hard, but the unease clung to him. Stone crouched at the gallery's edge, rifle scope fixed on the pit floor. His voice was clipped. "Documenting." He raised his gauntlet, flicking on the micro-drone mounted there. The beetle-sized machine hummed free, wings buzzing as it darted into the air. Through Stone's visor, its feed streamed back, images of machinery, guards, the central mass of black stone. He guided it with tiny wrist gestures, keeping it low, weaving through scaffolds. Ace watched, fascinated despite his nerves. The drone swept past a line of prisoners, straining at a cart, then dipped toward the exposed face of the buried structure. The feed blurred, static crackling across his HUD. "Interference," Stone muttered. He adjusted, coaxing the drone lower. The spirals etched into the structure pulsed faintly in the feed, though no floodlight struck them directly. Then the drone whined, jittered, and tumbled. Stone swore under his breath. The feed cut out. "Guess it didn't like being stared at," Mack said lightly. "Can't blame it. I don't like being stared at either." Stone ignored him, eyes sweeping for alternatives. His gaze fixed on a half-buried tunnel mouth at the base of the pit, where machinery had torn open a collapsed chamber. Sparks showered as cutting beams carved deeper. "Targets below. We need a sample." Ace blinked. Sample? From down there?" Stone's look was sharp. "You want command to believe us?" "We bring back proof." Mack sighed. "Knew you were going to say that. Always proof with you. Never. Let's go home early and live to drink another pint." But he followed when Stone moved. They crept from the gallery into a shattered corridor leading deeper into the ruins. The air grew colder, heavy with dust. Glyphs lined the walls, spirals etched over spirals until the stone seemed alive with them. Ace's skin prickled. His visor light caught a shard of something half buried in rubble, black, glassy, humming faintly. He crouched, reaching. Stone's hand snapped out, gripping his wrist. "Don't!" Ace froze. It's not just anything." Stone crouched, scanning. The shard vibrated against the rubble, as though it had a heartbeat. He pried it loose with the barrel of his rifle, not touching it directly. The shard was jagged, shot through with glowing veins that pulsed faintly when exposed. Mack leaned over. "Well, that's not ominous at all. You sure you don't want to leave it where it is, sir? Maybe buried, forgotten, never to haunt our nightmares?" Stone slipped it into a reinforced pouch. "Command will want it analyzed." Ace shivered. Even sealed away, he swore he could still hear it faintly. A low hum at the edge of hearing, thrumming in time with his pulse. Then, distant but clear, a sharp chirrup echoed through the ruins. Stone stiffened. Patrol signal. "Time to go!" he snapped. They moved fast, hugging shadows, climbing back toward the crater rim. Floodlights shifted as if searching. Voices barked in alien cadence. The sound of boots rang against metal. Ace's breath came quick. He imagined a visor's green glow fixing on him at any moment. But the squad made it to cover, crouching low behind a shattered archway. From here, the whole pit stretched before them once more. Machinery roared, prisoners stumbled, guards barked orders. And at the center, the buried structure loomed, vast and terrible, its spirals pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Ace whispered, unable to stop himself. "Sir, what if it's not just a ruin? What if they're digging something up?" Stone didn't answer immediately. His gaze never left the structure. Finally, he said very quietly, "Then we find out before they do."
That is the end for this one. Make sure you come back for more, and like and subscribe. See you soon.